And we should now be online. Hello everyone, how's it going this fine day? Let's see, is the music a bit too loud? Nope, that should be fine. Hello everyone, how's it going? Today I want to go and play around with the wave math I've been working on. So this was done in, I think on Friday's stream? Or Saturday's stream, I believe. And yeah, I finally got it working. I'm still not sure if it's mathematically accurate entirely. It feels almost correct, but still has a little ways to go. So for those of you who weren't there, here is the math behind the wave part, just this section. We have, in this case, I have rotational velocity, but that doesn't really make sense in this case. I probably should rename it. I named it rotational velocity and rotation because of, well, the piano keys rotating, but in hindsight that wasn't the best. So we have, first of all, the rotation, which the velocity gets added to that every single frame. That's the main part. And then for the rotational velocities calculation, we take the old velocity, add some drag to it, which is right here. We have an effector, which is the empty at the beginning frame. It starts close to the vertice, and then it keeps moving, but that adds energy into the system. And then this part is for basically the wave part of it, where you take a blurred version of the current rotation and subtract from the vertice's own rotation. So its rotation minus, or no, its blurred rotation minus its rotation, if that makes sense. I think that does make sense. And then the last part is making it so that its rotation always tries to go back to 0. So with this part, I can show if I disable the go back to 0, it'll just go and try to remain. It'll keep going, so the velocity will keep adding, but the wave part of it will still persist, leading to this very weird, almost slinky-like effect. But yeah, if we turn this part back on, it goes back to its proper level, if that makes sense. Let's see. But yeah, that's the math right here, which I was so surprised that was this easy. Like, that's not that many nodes. Like, just that. Like, even while the various instancing parts I have do a bit more damage. But here's the version without any rotation. It converts the rotation value into a vertical position value. And you can see it does look a bit like water. It's still just a little bit off. And this is the waveform drawn as extrusions on a line, which works. So, I guess what you're asking yourself is, what is the plan for today? Well, my plan is to try this on different curves and see how it looks. So I'm going to use a curved circle, or no, let's try an arc, which is like a curved circle, but an arc. So with this one, how do I... How should I make the initial... I'm going to use this as the effector instead of the empty effector, so that it will always start at 0.1. There we go. Not enough vertices, so let me go and bump this up to like 50. So here we can see there goes the wave, and then it doubles back, and so on. Let's see, so that does replace the effector, but it'll make sure that it does not keep going above its level, which is actually good. So here we can see it does, is it moving beyond the level? Nope, it is moving perfectly. So this is the equivalent of if you were to take like a jump rope, bring the jump rope up and then smack it back down again, and then keep it at that down level. It'll make the wave persist along there. It's good. But now I'm going to change this part so that instead of it going up vertically, I want to go out from the center. So I'm going to use the position and feed that into here. So here we can now see that goes around radially instead of the alternative, which I think can look very cool. I want to try different visualizations of it, but we will see. Then if I ever want to make this more effective, I can just multiply the output going into here. Let's change that to around 3 or so. Starting to get big again. I'm going to take out the effector. I may add that back, add that back in, but I'll have to see what other changes I can make. One thing I do want to try is, instead of extruding the vertices, let's try the edges. So that here we can see it's an actual wave. I wonder what else I can do with that. Let me store a named attribute, which will be only the top, so that I can get a gradient. Oh wait, I don't want it on the selection, I want that on there. So now if I go and set a material to here, we will see. So here we're looking at the rotation, which is the wave part of it. But if I get that gradient that I assigned, and Node Wrangler is still broken in this version, here we can see that we get a gradient there. This could be used for some very interesting effects. So I'm going to try changing the... Ooh, there's AGX color management. Interesting. I'll need to look into that because that is one of the new things in 4.0. Let's change this to constant, and I want this to be blue. I want to see if we can get some really cool patterns going. Also, I'm going to add in a subdivision surface to here, just to smoothen out the result. Let's set this to ease, because I want this to look spectacular. What if instead the rotation did not affect that part, but the shader did? So this will be doing its thing. I'll use the shader to show the level of this gradient. So I'll add the rotation to there, and we'll see the gradient gets offset. Interesting. So I'm thinking that I may want to up the resolution of this wave simulation to 150. Let's see how that looks. A little slow, in my opinion. Let's set this to 270, because I want this to be kind of like that. Yeah. So I want it to be like that, but I also want to add in some noise. But for that, I'll need to add in another gradient, which is basically the curve parameter. Lots of interesting things, interesting pieces of data that I'll need for this. So I just need to store another named attribute, and this will be the curve parameter. Just like that. Now I'll label that as gradient2 so that I can go back into the shader editor and reference it. So G2, let's take a look. And Node Wrangler is still broken. Keep forgetting about that because it's so useful. Now we can see that there is a gradient. Let's add in a one-dimensional noise texture. So now we can do that. I'll use only the grayscale. So now that we have this and that, we can go and affect this with a linear light. Right here, let's take a look at the output. Oh, that could be cool. Okay. This could be really cool if I set it up correctly. You can see where I'm going with this. What if I had this set to multiply? we have that, but then that... This could turn into something very, very cool. You can see what I'm going for. I just want to make sure that it pays off. And I could also make it so that this just evolves over time as well by making this two-dimensional noise. Let's see, let's use a combine XYZ, feed this into here, so that then I can do that, but I'll need a value. They... I think they should keep the search button there because people might not realize that they can type in stuff. A couple of the changes in 4.0 I'm kind of iffy on. Because it seems like they're removing the obvious solution for more technical things, which may be difficult for new users to grasp. Like here, the search function isn't even there, and here the search function is gone and replaced with, oh, just type. But I think the search button is better. It makes it a lot less, user-friendly for that search button to be gone. I should probably make a post about that. Because for people who've never seen the shader editor or don't use it often, if they're looking for a node, they'll go, okay, let's go to the search function. How do I search? And for people who also don't know about it, they'll be like, that, and then they might accidentally hit A, and then they're like, wait, why is that doing that? So I would say... yeah, I don't think that's a good change. I think that makes it less user-friendly. It might make it better for the people who are, like me, who are typing very fast. But for the people who aren't nerds about the shader editor, it will make it more difficult for them. Okay, let's input hashtag frame to put in the time data. Yeah. And we need to divide this by a lot. Even more. Actually, yeah, let's, that's why. Okay, let me set this to 1. So that we can set that time. Man, that is a lot more than I thought it would be. Now let's set the multiply here so that I can set each of those separately. I set that to 1. There we go. So now we can have it just gently evolving while the wave persists. Alright. Right here, I want to set this to black as well. Oh, and this shouldn't be... this should multiply that gradient. Then that should be add? Probably not. I'm trying to find cooler ways of making the data appear, but I'm having a bit of trouble. Like, that's the most obvious solution, which is just, oh, have it go down then up. But I'm still not 100% sold on that. What would happen if I were to... not that. If I were to linear light the rotation value... no, that wouldn't do anything. What if I were to have this warp the sideways gradients? Linear light. That... oh, that's funny, because it kind of squashes the texture. Okay, let's not do that. Let's see, let me read the chat real quick. Okay, oh, we have 35 people here. I apologize for me being so indecisive. Let's see. Because there could be a lot cooler ways of doing this, rather than just, oh, let's just have the rotation value. I should also mention that the wave physics can be done in Blender 3.6. I'm using 4.0 just because I want to test some of the new functionality. So here, that's another visualization of the wave. Oh, there we go. Almost like a loading icon, but a little disappointing. What if I were to ping-pong the gradient? Can this wave be driven by sound? In theory, yes. Practically, I'm not sure if you want to. Let's use a ping-pong. Put this right here, and node... I may switch this to 3.6 because the lack of node wrangler is, annoying me severely. Let's multiply this. And then also get annoyed that node wrangler is still missing. We do that, and then this, and then connect this to the output. You can now see... Oh, I need to multiply that by 2. There we go. Here we can see that that's now going like that. So now it's more like, it's equidistant? Words. Here, let me plug this into there, get rid of all the unnecessary stuff. Put this over to here. Put that over to there. Here we go. I mean, it's alright, but it's not moving as fast as I would want it to be, and it's not nearly as impactful as I would want it to be. That's why we multiply that. Okay, let's go and put this into a frame, bring that down. Why is it 3/4 of a circle? Because I thought it would look cool. Sometimes you don't need any other reason, besides thinking, you know what? That'll probably look cool. Oh, there we go, okay. That's a little more of what I was going for. Just seeing the flow of data. Let's see. Let's check the chat again. You can try mixing between vertical ones and radial ones based on a random vector. I could do that, but I'm not sure if that would look good. I'm testing to see what could look good or might not look good. So let's try another thing where I have the across gradient affect this. You can see what I'm going for, but it does not look good. Oh wait, I need to multiply. There we go. So something more like that. It makes it look more like a buzzsaw. Which is funny, but not quite what I'm wanting. Also, let's go back in the geometry node editor. Let's reinstate the wobble part again. But I also want to severely increase that. Oops. Let's go and move that part of the animation. Is that not on a frame? Oh, that's weird. So here we have that, and then it goes by. I think I'm going to reset the file. File, open, don't save, open. Okay, so instead of that, I'm going to use this to highlight spheres on a line. So let me get rid of that and that, and that. So I'm just going to have some icospheres on the line here. Let's get rid of that and that. Put this here. Like that. Set shade smooth. There we go. And then set material. I will set this to material 03 because that's the one that's on the object as well. Now we can go and look at the data. And we need to set this to instancer because we instanced objects on there. Now that could look cool as well. I feel like it has to affect the size because that's just, eh. You can see it, but it's not that great. Let's also change this to 0.05 so that we can have more spheres within the mix. Set this to 0.025. Nope, we need this at 0.025, not 00. There we go. So now we can see the data doing that. But what if I want this on a grid? I think that may be the key. Three-dimensional grid of spheres doing their thing. Now let's play around with setting the position. I think I'm going to make a little community note about that because them removing the search button right there is a really unintuitive thing because some people that are being introduced will be like, wait, where's the search function? Because unless they know the hotkey, which is F3, yeah, there should be an option that's just visible there. Like, they could also have the just type and then you're good, but having the button there is essential. Named attribute. Rotation. Now let's use a vector math to offset the spheres here. No, a vector math multiply. Vector math multiply. There we go. Okay. Now we can see that happening. It's a little fast, but I think motion blur may be able to assist with that. Oh, but I can also scale these by the rotational velocity to compensate. So let's use a combine XYZ. Set this to 1 and 1. Since I made that data, might as well use it. And I also need to add 1 to it so that it is proper. But that still doesn't work because that's multiplied by 4, so I have to do the same thing here. Multiply by 4. How does that look? It's doing nothing. Wow, I had to scale that up by a lot for it to be visible. I don't know why. It usually works no problem. Now here, do I change this to standard? So that we can see all that. I don't like how it has to, like, fly up a ton initially. Let's set this to 150. Because the goal is to make it so that whenever there's a movement, it doesn't really jump. I want it to look smooth. Yeah, I think that looks good enough. We can still see the forming patterns. It still feels way too fast, though. Let's go back into the shader, and let's go and connect this to there, so that we can actually see the reflections as well. Why do the blacks look way... Oh, right, this needs to be clamped. There we go. Seems a little too busy. Metallic. I don't know, the position and the color changing seems to be too much. Let's set these all to white, or maybe a gray color. I think that's too much. While it does look cool, again, probably a bit too much. Like, see how fast all that's moving? What if I were to up the resolution of this to 101? And then also double the size as well. Like atoms waving around. That could look really, really, really cool. It's a bit slow, the simulation, so I could go and up that. But that does lead to a few errors occurring. The lights. The lights are looking a bit odd as well. So let me just have one. Turn up the scale so that looks nice and soft. Nice, soft light. Man, that makes it so hard to see what's going on. And also, this can work in 3D space. Oh, just for clarification, they didn't remove search, they just made it so that you can start typing. Which, I'm, like, just being able to start typing might confuse some beginners, which I don't think that's the biggest problem, but them removing the button here that says search, I think that's not good. Like, there should be a visual option to search here. Like, that there should be just one little thing there that says search. Because just typing, that it's not... People won't exactly think when they open up the node editor, oh, here's the ad, let's go. They don't think, oh, let's go and type what I want immediately. They may discover it, but that will be by accident, by accidentally typing a number. So, the visual part should be there. There have been a few changes in 4.0 so far that felt less user-friendly. Like, here... Oh, you can also search in there. Well, that's a good change. You couldn't search before. But here, all this is now in one of these panels, where you have to go into the sub-panel in order to find it. While, say, with the constraints, it used to be like this, where everything is nice and laid out. You just go and can see everything at once. I think the modifier should have the other panel by default, but if you go and add it in here, I think this should be in there as well. This doesn't feel like a good menu layout. It's like add modifier and then all of a sudden this very small menu where the arrows don't even face in the right direction. That's why you need UX designers, yeah. 2.8 UI was really good. That was a step in the right direction. Here feels like it's kind of being pretty shaky. Like, here, that just feels like a removal of something useful. Something visually that says, hey, you can search. While here, you won't even, like, visually, if you're just looking around, you can't even find the search option. Like here, it's not in here. Here, it was removed. It's actively saying, hey, to the user, there's no search function. The only way someone will discover that if they don't look at the documentation or tutorial is if they accidentally hit the A key or any other key. That's the only way they're going to discover it. Or if they press F3, but then again, that's not intuitive. So, there should be a visual option by default, especially in the shader editor. Because here is where, you know, you need to be in here to make custom shaders. And now, since this is gone, people won't know that there even is a search functionality. Which they can still keep the just type and then it'll search automatically, but there should be just an option. They should keep the panel in there, because that would be good. Straightforward. Yeah. Alright. Let's go back and start editing the shader here again. So here, once again, we can see the levels changing. I don't know what's up with... Oh, that's because of the light. Yeah. Let's change this so that... Let's try Fresnel. Or no, layer weight. Color amp. Emission strength. There we go. So right here, I want it to be like that. Someone suggested, sorry, words. My brain power is going all towards thinking of what would look good. So something like that could look good. Maybe. I think also multiplying it by the rotation value would be good as well. Still a little half and half on this one. We don't need you in there. Only that here. Like from the top, it could look very cool. Like if we just disable the specular. And the specular does not disable the total specular? Turn up the roughness? Interesting. Did I accidentally turn on clear coat? No. Interesting. I don't like how noisy the result gets over there. But it's probably fine. Probably. Let's see, roughness goes down. No, that goes back down. So like that, and then the camera would be like right here. Viewing this, maybe some nice depth of field effects. Let me go back and turn on... Let's turn on AGX, color management. Interesting. And then just really amplify the power of this. Oh, and that's clamped. No wonder it was so weird. There we go, okay. 400? 4,000. Let's also go with high contrast. How does this look compared to Filmic? Ah, okay, so we can get the super saturated colors in Filmic. Well, AGX is better. It's a bit less saturated. They're kind of wanting you to put that in post. Like, that's much more realistic lighting, but some of the values do get a bit washed out. Compared to Filmic, which is just, oh yeah, that's tons of purple. Well, that looks cool. Kind of more of a sandy base. Intensity of the balloon. Let's also reorient the camera. We're at 34 minutes right now. It feels so noisy. I'm not liking with how noisy it looks. Maybe I need to do like a final pass just to make it feel a bit better. Final smoothing pass. That could work out very well. But let's also turn on the depth field. Like that. I think that's a bit strong. So let me go and move that out by a bit. Geometry node editor once again. Let's do that smoothing pass for the rotation. But then I'll have to also do it for the rotational velocity, which I am not really looking forward to. Or we could just leave it there. So store named attribute, rotation, but we just need to blur it by 1 or 2 times. This is in post, so it won't affect the simulation, only the result, so that we get much cleaner looking results, evidently. So it's like that. There we go. Oh, so much cleaner. So here's with, and here's without. With, and without. There we go. Let's go and increase the... That's a bit much. Wave physics is working, but... I would to make this dampen a lot faster. It would just be... it would just be like that. Which is cool, but disappointing in my opinion. Change this to 0.95. You can see the wave interference and all that. Still not sure if this is the best idea. Here, let's go and disable the position offset, because I also want to try this in 3D space. And how would I do that? Well, it's a little bit difficult, but I will show how to do it. So here we need to take a grid. I'm going to do the setup up here so that I can just pass it along easier. I'll take a grid of, let's say, 41 vertices. So let's go and take a look at that. So we have this, but we need to extrude the mesh according to the edges by a certain amount. And that amount will be, a little bit of math right here, 1 divided by 41, so that the offset is correct. Is that accurate? Oh no, wait, I think that needs to be half 41, so divide by 2, because the grid goes in both directions? Something's telling me that is not right. Let's make sure that the vector is correct. Set that to 1. Okay, all the scaling is correct. Oh, that's why. Okay, okay. Let's make this a 1 meter by 1 meter cube, so that nothing is weird with that. So now if this is 41, we can see that we have a very nice and regular grid right there. But now if we use the repeat zone, which is in 4.0 and only 4.0, we do this and this, we can now repeat the process. But one thing I need to make you all extremely aware of, we need to make sure that this gets connected here so that it will only extrude on the top part of that part of the cube. So here we go. So now let's make this 41 as well. So now we have a 3x3 cube, or 1x1x1 cube made out of 41 rows, columns, and vertical columns. Oh, this is going to be fun. Sarcasm implied. Let's set this to 21, 21, and 21, so that's a bit better. Okay, here we go. There we go. Now we have the 3D noise cube, which if we go and scale these down by a bit, we should be able to see the data in 3D space. There we go. So now we can just barely see the data, the noise data doing its thing. Let me go and reduce that. There we go. I think I'm going to go into the shader and edit this so that it's a lot more apparent what's going on. It's so difficult to see. Like, I could try making this a volumetric, but I think that'll just make it even harder to grasp. Let's go back into the geometry node editor, set this to 21, or no, 31 and 31. Whoops, 31, 31, and 31. Okay. And then this has to be 31 as well, for all those. We can see that it's starting to lag. Yay! That's unfortunate. Let's see, since we do have all of those mesh features, here, let's take a look at the output here regularly. Could change this so that it is on the faces. So now there will be faces everywhere. Or will there be? You know what, let me just set this to edges. But let me see if we just output the mesh. If I can make it so that it's a okay looking volume effect. So let's use, let's see, an add shader, which is transparent. Yeah, we really need that search button back because I'm instinctively clicking because it was there. But it's just more intuitive to have the search button there so that you know what you're doing instead of just typing. Because most people won't realize that. And emission. Just a UI thing. But a useful UI thing. None. Okay, let's go back to here. And why? Oh, did I forget to set the material? No, the material is there. So why is it not functioning as I want it to? It's alpha blend, isn't it? How much do I need to multiply it for it to show up? That's... okay, so that's working. Oh, this needs to be on the geometry level. Dodoy. There we go. Now we can see. It's a pseudo-volumetric. There we go. So now I can make sound bouncing off the walls of a place, and it will work. So let's set this to 51. 51, 51, and 51. This is going to lag. But it works. We can see the sound bouncing off the walls, kind of. Try not showing the back face. That won't work, because that will mean that if I look at it like this, it won't work. This functions as long as you don't look at it vertically, which isn't the worst. It would be the best if we had access to set VDB data based off of this, but that is coming in a future update. So let's go back into the simulation. Let me put that all into a frame. And also, just for ease of use, let me use... I was typing on the removed search function. Now, let's set this to an integer. Okay. I'm going to just plug in one value to all of this so that I can control it easily from here. There we go. So, 51. Now, just one value will control all of that easily. Very, very nice. I'm also going to move the cube over so that the simulation starts in one of the corners. Oof, it is not liking that. There we go. So boom, and then... Oh, it's fading before it hits the walls. I really wanted to see it reflect off the walls, but it's, kind of not. It is, well, you can kind of see it once it hits the end, but let's set this to 0.99. Also, let's not smoothen it, because I think that makes it worse. Let's go and take another look from the top and all that. Gotta hop off. See y'all later. See you, Wendy. Let's see. The latest UI updates are bad in my opinion. I kind of agree. It feels like it's making it harder for beginner users while making it just like maybe 1 second easier for the super advanced users. Like the modifier change here, that just makes it slower for everyone. Harder for beginners because they don't know the difference between what a deform and generate thing is. People who are in geometry nodes do know because, you know, they're the nerds. But here, it should be the old version. And then the search functionality being, the search button being removed, I don't know why they would think that's a good idea. Because search button is essential UI, visually. Because it's like, oh, how would I know how to search it either way? Like, people will find out by accidentally clicking on a button. That's not how you want that to be. It needs to be there visually and obviously. Let's see. I need to read the chat a bit more. Specular at 0 is no longer 0 reflection. So this is a video explaining why this is better. Oh. I'm a little confused by that because games, that's how games work. And if it's like, oh, that's no longer the case, I'm kind of... I don't know, 4.0 is doing a few changes, which I'm not a fan of. I'm hoping it's just... those will be ironed out once the community feedback hits. Because, that would be better. Now these are slow, but I think when it's rendered it'll be okay. And seeing all that occur is fine. Like the reflection off the walls I think is just a result of... I don't know why it's not reflecting off the walls as much as I would like it to. Like, once it hits here, it is reflecting off the walls. Like, one thing I could do... I'm thinking... Like, the end result that I kind of want is to be able to simulate a... I want to be able to simulate a room, and then sound waves going through said room. So here, let's bring this over to here and here. So let's say 2 rooms, and then a small passageway. Like this. So that's only in there. I'm going to delete all the vertices that are outside of that cube, which is harder than you would think because I need to... You know what? Maybe I'm just gonna do a Boolean. Yeah, let me just do this in the simplest way possible instead of making life harder for me. Okay, let's delete that and just make it so that the geometry input, the group input, goes into there. And I'll just have a geometry nodes thing into here. Oop. And we can't copy these with them making sense. Can we? Oh, did that just cause a crash? Oh, because that part wasn't. Dang it. Well, looks like Blender's gonna crash because of the super intensive thing that I just made it do. So let's cancel that, close out of Blender, and then reopen it, and then hopefully go to an autosave. Hi from Ukraine, great work, and thank you for sharing. Hey, it's always nice seeing where people are watching from. Let's go and do this again. Okay. So I'm just going to go and look at the cube here. I'm going to just apply the cube. There we go. Geometry nodes. Let's add in the wave math again. But let's just delete all of that and just have the thing as the input. The geometry input here. Control space. No, not control space. Oh dang, did they remove it? Oh no, it's still... Yeah, okay, it's still there. Good, good, good. But now I can Boolean, or, you know, yeah, Boolean this, so that we can actually kind of simulate the, like, the corridor and all that. So, Boolean... Yeah, I like the... I don't like the new modifier tab. It feels unintuitive. I hope that there's a way to tell the Blender devs... I need to find a good way to tell the Blender devs about that. That doesn't sound, like, oh, this is terrible. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's do that. Just a quick... I'm going to make a copy of it as well. Oh dang, that might have been a mistake. Nope, it wasn't. There we go. Let's just keep the cube over there so that I don't have to regenerate it every single time. Control A. Let's take a look and see how this works. So, there we go. It does work. Okay. It does work. I'll need to make a more efficient way of making the Boolean because this is currently a little iffy. But yes, we now have a way of doing kind of a sonar effect in a room, which could look very, very cool. This is volumetric, or are you faking it? Yes, but no. The simulation is technically volumetric because it's, you know, going through all the points and comparing, oh, what's this and what's that. But the volume is just a ton of planes stacked up. Now I would like to use, like, the volume nodes to do that, but I don't think it's possible. There's that, and then the noise will eventually settle. I need to find a cool looking, like, interior design so that I can showcase, oh, this is how it travels through this and that. But I could also... Oh, wait. Oh, I can do a lot of cool things with this. So what if I used the geometry proximity to an object to affect, like, the density of the sound, so that when it goes outside of that... Oh yeah, that could be cool. I can simulate the... Would that work? I'm not sure. I could somehow weight the blur bias. Yeah, I would have to make this more advanced, I would have to make my own blur attribute node. Oh no, wait, there is a way already to this. How could I make it... Let's see something. What if I use the... Again, the search button disappearing is really not good. I'm starting to dislike it more and more. Let's use it greater than, so that if it's on the positive there... Okay. So here I want to see if I can create the bounce. Oh, let's set that to negative. Let's set that to, like, negative 0.25. We can still... Oh, right. That needs to be on the Y. Okay, let's try it again. So as we can see, they're being absorbed. They're not reflecting, which is what I feared. While with the blur attribute node, if there's no other vertices out there, it'll blur into the space that is available. But here, since the weight is like that, it just deletes it. So it will not reflect, which isn't the best. Let's see. I do want to make this more complex with a higher density, but I'll need to do some more stuff in there. And I got rid of the cube point thingy-mabopper. Ugh, that's annoying. Okay, let me... Let me remake the cube density generator. Or wait a second. No, all the points have to be connected, so I have to do it in the other way. Let's use a grid. Grid, let's put that in here. And then the extrude node. Extrude geometry or mesh. Let's set this to edges mode. And then let's use the repeat zone. Repeat zone. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Oh, just for the people in the chat, it's generally not a good idea to discuss your ages online if you're extremely young. From the looks here, we have quite a few very young people in the chat. So just so you're aware. Just so that you're aware. Just internet etiquette that I learned, and I just want to pass that along. No worries. Just trying to keep you all safe out there on the internet. The internet is not a kind place. Let's just say that. But yeah, it is very interesting to see the age ranges that we have on these streams. Very interesting. Let's see, did I set this all up correctly? Evidently I did not. Oh right, I need to do that. And then this just needs to be a vector. There we go. So now we have this cube, our volume for the effect. Now let's set this to 101. Uh-oh. Okay. now that we have a grid of 1 million points... Wait, 100 cubed is... No, like 100,000? Actually, I could look at the spreadsheet. Nope, 1 million. Okay, so we have 1 million points. That is a little much. Let's just say that. Geometry node editor. So here I'm going to reduce the iterations to 50. Let's set this to just, what, 100? Yeah. Because with the kind of house that we're going to be simulating, you know, it'll look a bit different. Okay. So then, to do the Boolean process, which, surprise, it's not going to be a Boolean. It's going to be something different. Be a delete geometry node, but I need to use a clever little thing to determine whether or not the volume's points are inside or outside of an object. So let me go and bring the cube into here. Scale it down. So to do that, it's a bit complicated of a math problem. So let's just go and bring this in here. So what I need to do is use the sample nearest, and then also get the proximity, I think. I'm forgetting, but we need to sample index. There we go. So we need to sample the normal from the cube and also the position from the cube. Or I could just use a geometry proximity. Let's just use the position. Let's use the same data to reference the stuff. Oh man, it's recalculating this cube every time I do that. So let's do that. And now we need to subtract the position from that position to get the vector from there. We need to normalize it. And then we need to dot product this vector from the normal vector. So we'll see which ones essentially will be inside of the cube and which ones won't be. The math for this is a little complicated, so I apologize. But here we should be able to determine which ones are inside and which ones aren't. If I set this up correctly, which evidently I did not. It's close, but not quite. Oh, this needs to be on the face domain. Yeah? It looks like it's trying to figure it out. Let's move it. But it seems like it is not doing it correctly. Face for both of these? No. Why is it not working? I've done this before. Subtract from that. Yeah, that should get the vector to the surface. And then... I know that should be fine. Do I need to use the proximity? Proximity. The face. Plug that into there. And then sample nearest surface? Huh. This will make it easier for me to set up, but I'm a bit surprised. Did that work? Hello? It should be working. I actually don't know why it's not. It should be comparing that to there, and then deleting the ones that are not correct. But it isn't. Yeah, no. It's just not working. Set this to 0.5, then negative. Oh. Okay, that is interesting. So it's like half working? -1? Some tomfoolery is happening here. Evaluate on the face domain? Will that fix it? Or the point domain? No way that fixed it. Ain't no way. Maybe, did it work? Well, that works. Okay, I'm a little confused. Switch this back to face. Oh, both of them worked. Okay. Why did it freak out then? I don't know, and I don't care. Huh, who would have thought? If it works, it works, and I will not complain. So now I need to set up the house design now that I finally figured it out. So for here, yeah, let's make just a very basic house. With a hall. So here will be the bedroom. Let's make a nice hallway. Like that. And then this part will be, I don't know, the living room, I guess. Let's do that and that. Then right here. Because I want to show the sound waves propagating from one room to another. I also want it to show that it can switch directions. So here it'll be that, and then another room right here. You know, not the best house you've ever seen, but something that'll serve its purpose. Oh, and I want this to be the exact opposite. So that it'll only have it... There we go. Okay. That could be why... you can tell that my brain power's not at 100% at the moment. So let's go and center this fully inside of our cube. And I can possibly edit the cube so that it will have more voxels where we want it, and less where we do not. So let's do that as well. So all this is to figure out what's inside of the mesh versus not. Which was way more complicated than I wish it was, but it is what it is. Control J, let's do that. Okay, so I want less height so that it'll save on the calculation time. Let's enable this. Come on, you can do it. So I want fewer iterations here. Or, yeah, that's fine. Well, that's what I had before. So 51, I think that'll be good. And then we do our little Boolean pass. I want to do one last thing. I want to angle one of these. Ah, it's lagging because it is actually calculating. Let me do that and raise this one up as well. Actually, that'll just show the errors in the voxels and all that, so let's just remove that. Or maybe... I don't know, we can have one of them be like this. I could always undo it if necessary. Speaking of which, let me save this as a variant. Wave room. There we go. Make sure to not save it over the previous one. Okay, let's go and show this. Enable this part. There we go, that's all looking good. I'm not worried about the part that's lower there. So I'm going to hide this, copy the cube, enable it, and then Control A it. So now that we have this here, We can find, where did I put this simulation? We don't need that. I don't know why that's still in there. Geometry nodes. There we go. Nope, wrong one. Where's the simulation? Oh, okay, right. There we go. Okay, now this should work. Is it? Looks like it is. Kind of. I'll just need to speed up the simulation by quite a bit. Or maybe blur this by even more. It's not as apparent as I would like it to be, but it does seem to be working. Oh, the Wi-Fi propagates throughout your house. I want this to start off right here. Let's try it again. Boom. So it'll be like that, and then it spreads throughout the house like that. But we're not seeing the waves. The waves aren't exactly accumulating. They seem to like to cancel each other out. Interesting. Let's set this to AGX. Filmic log. Standard. I'll stick with Filmic for now. So now I guess it's just figuring out how to style this correctly. Where's the... here be the shader. Let's go and take a look. So now for here, let me use a map range so that I can map the range accurately. Smoother step, just do that. There we go. So here we can see all of that in all of its glory. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Let's set the limit, the brightness limit to be something a little more reasonable. The waves don't quite have the fidelity that I want. And they're a bit too regular, so I think I may have to edit the simulation somewhat. Let's set this to that, or 5, or 3. I think if I put some noise into there, it may help it by quite a bit. So let's do that. So I'll add in just a random value. Man, I'm really disliking the removal of the search button. Just typing by default doesn't feel right. Like, I do appreciate that you will be able to just type by default. That will increase speed. But the removal of the search button, I don't think it's a good idea. So here... Oh wait, I just want to multiply. Yeah, okay, let's multiply by just a little bit. So either 1 or 0.9. Just to simulate like some air resistance. And it dissolves into noise. Oh wait. Oh, it's kind of working. Like, it's not fading well enough. I do want the energy to be somewhat lost, but it's, being lost way too fast. Like there, it just keeps going, but... I don't know, maybe I can fix it with adding in more initial energy? -1, so boom. Like an actual impact. Then it keeps traveling. Then we can see that... There we go! Okay, wait. We can see actual sound waves. Whoa! Okay, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Uh-huh, okay. Oh, also another thing I want to try, just for a stylization, for style points. I'm going to put this in here and then this into the color, because I want to switch from blue into a purple, because I think that'll look cool. Kind of like that. Yeah, that looks cool. So we can see the difference between the high power sound and the low power sound quite a bit easier. Now, this would be better if it was just the colors, but if it was just a volume with the colors, but this is fine. This is fine. Or, what if, okay, maybe instead of multiplying that, I multiply the blur amount by this. Oh, that looks cool. Still not the resolution that I want. It feels still a little bit off. But here we can see, once it goes there and enters a room, that looks really cool. Yeah, the noise is still not affecting it all too well. Doesn't look like the new noise is affecting it at all. So let's bump it up. Okay, now it's affecting it. They're 1 or 3. Oh. Looks like we got an error going. Whoa. Oh, what the heck? What did I cause? Dun -dun. And then that, it just... Then it just starts growing, which that's funny. If you ever wanted to freeze an entire building, that is how you would do it. Okay, so that part doesn't work. Oop. Let me make the target 0.1. Oh, wow. It did not appreciate that. Oh, so this could simulate... Oh, that could be cool as well. So if the default value is... Oh, I can simulate a pressure change. A visual pressure change. Or actually, wait a second. I don't even need to do that to make that work. I'll just need to change the map range so that it starts out with a little bit of power. Okay, I see what's happening here. And if I increase this, what happens then? Okay, oh, that is hurting my eyes by a bit. It's not doing quite what I want. 0.99. It takes so long to spread around the area as well. Here, just like dun 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 dun. Oh, but it is... It's only half working. I need to figure out the math behind it entirely. It's here just... It's waving, but it's not waving correctly. Here, just... Oh. Uh-oh, what did I break this time around? Oh no, the cache just isn't resetting. No, I did break something. Okay. Wait, that needs to be like that for it to work? Interesting. Oh, that's because that's set to -1. Okay. So if this is set to 0, that just causes it to get bigger. Makes sense. tries to make its buddies become its level, then this actually makes the wave part of it. I don't know why the waves there should be bouncing off the walls, which we're not seeing that. Put that back into the negative. Here, let's set this to 0.01 again. Oh, wait, I can kind of see it there. It's just that the radius was way too small. Uh-huh. Okay. So if the radius is too big, we won't... Okay. So the start radius was just big. Way too big. So here, if we have that, it's just... Uh-huh. So travel so far before it goes out into the other room. But it is functioning. Simulation isn't accurate, but it's getting somewhere. I just need to figure out how to implement noise in a good way. Like here, you can see that the noise is affecting it. I think it will cause it to grow way more than it should. I have this at like 0.5 and 1. 0.5 and 0.15. Oh, we're way past an hour, okay. I'll have to stop streaming soon. But this is interesting. It's very finicky as well. If any sound engineers know what's going on, please inform me in the comments. Oh, hello, Chris. Sorry I missed your comment. Yeah, this is some interesting stuff I'm trying to figure out. Do you usually stream at the same time? No, I have no stream schedule, which is why I leave these recordings up for later. Like, Like, the part that's wrong here, the only part that is, like, really noticeably wrong is the blur attribute node. Because that's what runs basically the entire effect. That's what's making it so that it doesn't bounce off the walls properly and all that. Like here, oh wait, it does look like it's bouncing off. I also need to make it so that when it hits the walls, it does dampen by a bit. It's very, very interesting. Let's add in a two-dimensional noise texture based off the object. I'm disliking more and more that they removed the actual button for the search. Because that is, as I said, this must be like the 4th time, not good UI design. It's good to actually see the button there. I don't know why removing it would be seen as a good idea. Okay, let me make this affect this by a bit. Or I'll just do this the normal way. Just add it into there. And then use multiply, undo the normalize, put it in there. So that we can see it like this. There we go. Makes it cooler, I think. So that we can see the volume that's in, and then all that. Can you make a dark effect, please? There you go. Very dark. Are there things in Blender 4.0 that are possible now that weren't possible in other versions? Yes, the repeat zone is new, and there are a few quaternion nodes, which are a good change, even though the naming convention got really messed up with those being implemented. 4.0 I see having quite a few growing pains. I see you have a counter for each time you complain about the search button. Yeah, yep. Just in case someone missed it, I guess. Because that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Like, even, I would argue that the search button should be in here as well. In both of these, just so that, you know, visually it is there. Like this, I don't think needs a search button because everything's just there. But here, since it's menus on menus on menus, with all that, it would be good to have that on there. Can you make a Discord light effect? I could, but I think that would be very unpleasant for the viewers. But I could, in a few seconds. Okay, I think this is good for today. Oh, let me go and turn off the depth of field for now. For other visualization methods, I could just make it the instances once again. Let's go back into the geometry node editor. I could just make it like this. Oh, that is a lot of more instances than I thought there would be. Oh, Lord Almighty. It's a lot. Whoa. How many points do we have in this thing? Spreadsheet? 113. Okay, so it's a lot, but not a lot. So just having it like that is the best option. So it is a shame that it doesn't look that high res. Like, it looks extremely blurry, but I know that's kind of the point. Like, look at all the points here. Like, if I tone down that, it makes it look like the proper resolution, but it'll just take so much longer for the waves to propagate. Then I'll have to render it out, and then... yeah. I'll have to render it out and then speed up the footage, because I can't exactly do more iterations. I could do more iterations per frame, but that would just make it super laggy. Sound simulations are always difficult to get working right. Or I can make the start point just right smack in the middle of the corridor. Just like that. Let's try to line it up, a vertice with one of those. There we go. So instead of that, it'll just start in the hallway. So that we can see it propagate to all the rooms. So that we can see the effect much faster. Alright, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that result. Oh, okay, I wouldn't say happy or thrilled, but it's good enough. Let's try using a magic texture, because that is cheap to go and multiply all of that by 0.1. Just to add a little bit of volumetric detail to everything else. I could use this for smoke simulations, I guess. If I can figure out how to make, like... yeah, this could be used... I could make my own smoke simulation method. Huh. Huh. I could do that. If I can figure out different parts of this. The key to make this... The key to making this look like an actual smoke simulation is me figuring out how to make a weighted blur node so that I can say they'll basically allow for reflections and pressure to only go in one way or another, but we will see. I think that's good. And that is 600 frames. Oh my goodness, that is, that's a bit much. I also don't know how to make it go faster. Because that would just mean blurring it more? I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure about that. I'll have to consult with the elder math people. But yeah, that's good. Alright, thank you all for watching. I might try just changing the colors by... Ooh, that's cool. Way too bright, but cool nonetheless. That'll make it look like the quantum field effect that I wanted to do for that one sword timber prompt. Yeah, I'm just going to do 1 or 2 more tests with blurring the attribute by a lot more. Oh, there we go. Well, that makes the simulation a lot faster. It makes it look a lot less detailed as well. But it does work. So is that the trade-off? Like, is the trade-off just it'll look more detailed if you don't... I guess so. But what if I blurred it a lot, but the weight was low? Uh-huh. But I blur it a lot. Okay, then it travels very fast through the whole thing. Intriguing. Then if I do that, it looks very high detail, but it's slow. I can fake detail by multiplying the rotation, again, I need to rename that. Basically, its current value by a random value. Random value. Here we go. Make it look like there's actual detail in there, even though there might not be. There we go. Oh, that makes it look cooler. It does make it look cooler. But would be even better if the random value could make that part better. So let me set this to like 0.5 and 1. So there, that just makes a lot more noise, evidently. Here, the noise will take quite a bit longer for it to kick in. But that's just to make a little bit of instability before it becomes, well, unstable, fully unstable. I also want to... Should probably put in like a grid floor just to base so that people can know what the place looks like. Let me just do that real quick. Yeah, let me go and add in new cube Or no, I need to get that from my asset browser. Where's that node group? Cube grid, where are you? Square cells, there we go. So let me go and just connect that to the output. And Node Wrangler is still broken. 4.0 is feeling a little rough at the moment, but it'll be ironed out. As long as the texture coordinate. As long as we get the dedicated search button back, and this part of the modifier tab reverted to the old version, I'll be happy. It's gonna be good. Just a few little design quirks that make it just a bit harder for the user that need to be fixed. Here we go. Okay, just a slight grid so that people can see what's happening. I need to make it even more apparent. Maybe that's good. And then I can use the distance from the center of the object, or the length. They basically mean the same thing. Map range. Oh, Luz, are you counting how many times I've mentioned the removal of the search thing? That's funny. Yeah. And I'll bring it up again! But yeah, removing it, I would say, is a mistake. Could I make it so that the plane is reflective? And Node Wrangler is still broken. Specular. Why is it not showing that? Is that because it needs a background to bounce off of? Yeah, seems like it. Okay. Also shade flat. Now I need a light pro reflection plane. Why is it, odd. Okay, now it's showing that. Okay. Okay. Wait, what? I am greatly confused. Oh, that's okay. One of the quirks of Alpha Blend, I guess. Because there is no light, I must add this in to there. And should I have this like that? Or is that better? I think that may be more confusing. If I have it like this, people can see that. And what if I just put the house, I've been streaming for too long, the house wireframe in there. Let's see, sound wave, yeah, that's good enough. Alright, thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time. Have a good one.